Good day everyone, I'm Michelle Arcalindao and I'm going to discuss the last topic, which is the causes of new product failure. So first, let us define product failure. So product failure is the product's inability to establish itself well and persist in the market, which could be a result of poor performance or poor marketing of the product. Product failures are the state or condition of not meeting the intended objective or expectation of people. This can be viewed as a failure of the product. So, base sa definition ng product failure, sinasabi na kaya nagkakaroon ng product failure ay dahil hindi na-meet yung hinahangad na objective or hindi na-meet yung expectation ng mga tao or yung mga consumer sa bagong nilabas na product. Thus, product failures occur when a new product after each launch fails to gain an adequate amount of sales, leading to its loss. Many of the reasons for new product failure relate to the execution and control problems. So, as you can see in the PPT, the following is a brief list of some of the more important causes of new product failure after they have been carefully screened, developed, and marketed. So first is no competitive point of difference, and unexpected reactions from competitors or both. For a new product to win initial trials and then ongoing repeat business, it needs to bring something new to the marketplace. Potential customers need an incentive such as additional benefit or some form of variety to be persuaded to try and buy a new product. Without any real point of difference, the new product is likely to fail. Yung competitive point of difference kasi, ito yung mga characteristic ng isang product or services na nagpapaiba sa ibang competitor. So, an example of this is the Satisfries. Burger King had introduced a healthier alternative for fries, but it failed to convey the difference to its customer. So, the company discontinued these fries less than a year after they were introduced. So, kailangan nga pag nag-launch ng new product ang isang business, kailangan mayroon competitive point of difference. Kasi yung unique characteristic ng new product will have an incentive or advantage para ma-persuade yung mga customer na piliin yung product or services ng business mo kaysa sa iba. So, uniqueness of the product is important. It has to offer a new feature or satisfy the customer's needs in new ways. So, dito naman sa unexpected reactions from competitors, some form of competitor reaction should be expected when new products are designed to take market share away from established competitors. In some cases, competitors will increase the level of promotion, reduce prices, leverage retail relationship to discourage their partners from supporting a new product from a competitor, or even launch a similar product themselves. So next, pangalawa sa list yung poor positioning. So basically, a business will have poor positioning if your customer and target market don't understand why they should buy the new product. So poor positioning not only results in effective marketing, it also has serious financial implication. Poor positioning will most likely lead to the commoditization of your firm and its product and services, which negatively affect its financial performance and overall value. Ibig sabihin ng commoditization is yung process kung saan kino-convert yung products or services ng isang company into standardized or marketable objects. So, an example of poor positioning is the brand Colgate. So Colgate is known for their toothpaste and oral care products. Colgate wanted to head into frozen food. Colgate targets customers who want a clean mouth and have a brand proposition directly related to oral hygiene. So dahil nga gusto ng Colgate maging head sila sa frozen food, Colgate then launched the product of Kitchen Entries, which was a frozen meal that resulted in a huge failure. Using their logo that has a pre-existing identity to toothpaste and placing it on food was confusing to customers and did not go over. Additionally, dahil nga people naturally link the Colgate name with toothpaste, it was difficult for people to accept a frozen meal with Colgate logo. And that is why this is one of the biggest new product failures of Colgate. Pangatlo naman sa list is yung poor quality of a product. So, building or creating a poor quality product is similar to building the wrong product. Substandard and cheaper raw materials in the manufacturing of a product reduce its quality and consumer prefer to avoid low quality products. An example of poor quality product is the product of Samsung, specifically yung Galaxy Note 7. The launch of the product was very well received and successful, but there was a serious problem with the phone's battery. It caught fire on several occasions. Due to this, it was banned in certain places. Soon, Samsung suspended its production. This just shows that poor quality is when a product does not meet the customer expectation. Furthermore, if your product has limited functionality, competitive gaps, performance issues, or technical issues like stability, the product adaptation rate will suffer. Some customers will initially buy, but repeat sales and broader adaptation will be limited. So, customers always consider carefully the level of product quality when making purchase decisions. So, marketers must consider what criteria potential customers use to determine their perceptions of quality. Since product with inferior quality will always struggle to exist and sustain in the market, they will fail in any case. So next, pang-apat sa list is yung lack of promotional measures or inadequate yung promotional strategy sa isang product. So, popularizing the brand, particularly in the introduction stage of a product, is essential. Such as that will ensure repeated buying and bring long-term benefits for the marketer. And failure to do so will prove to be disastrous for the product. So, an example nitong lack of promotional measure is yung the Zune by Microsoft, which is the first product that features in the list of products that failed due to lack of promotional strategy or marketing. It was introduced as a competitor to the iPad 5 years after it was already an established product. Furthermore, it had no distinguishing features that made it different from the iPad, which contributed to its failure to attract consumers. So accordingly, lack of promotion can also be a prime reason behind the severe lack in the scope of the product towards its target niche, which will lead to product failures. Panglima naman sa list na nagkakos kung bakit nag-fail sa new product is yung poor planning and poor execution of the marketing plan. Poor planning or poor execution of a marketing plan will almost guarantee your product's failure. But on the other hand, proper planning will not only help you create a clear strategy, but it will also help your product stick around for a long time. So, example ng poor planning is yung Apple Maps. After na-update yung iOS 6, iPhone owners were surprised to learn about this new Apple Maps app. And they immediately started using it, only to get lost in different parts of their city. They see the misplacement of well-known landmarks, false footage of destroyed bridges and buildings. So later on, it was figured that Apple Maps was rushed in development and was destined to fail in the first place. So the reason why it fails because the product was weak in terms of performance and it was also poorly planned. So, sunod naman, pang-anim sa list is the poor perceived price or incorrect pricing. So, another reason for the failure of certain products is the price factor. Higher production and distribution costs may lead to a higher price. Such a product can be sold in a market consisting of middle and lower income buyers. So, when your product is incorrectly priced, it becomes impossible for it to reach an average customer. Therefore, you won't be able to sell much, and most people won't be able to recognize your product or be familiar with it. So, an example of this is the Google Glass, wherein the products is launched in 2013. So, Google Glass did not last long as Google had expected. So, Google Glass was way ahead of its time. After 2 years of disappointing sales, Google discontinued the development of Google Glass. So, this product struggled due to its high price, low battery life, and privacy concern. And that is why Google Glass is in the first place among the top product failures around the world. So, it is important to note that consumers usually compare the cost and price of a product and choose a product at a reasonable price. And irrational pricing leads to the failure of a new product in the market. So next on our list is the faulty estimates of market potential and other marketing research mistakes. So, lack of proper market research is one of the key problems for new businesses or kahit new product na release. It's easy to get carried away with a business idea and set up a business without testing its viability. It is also important to consider what your audience or customer needs are and to use market research to test them. So, businesses should factor feedback into any products or services they are designing or creating. So, para mas maging klaro, ang example nito is yung new Coke of Coca-Cola Company, wherein in the 1985, while trying to boost sales and refresh the classic soft drink, Coca-Cola retired its tried and true recipe and came up with new Coke, which is a beverage sweeter than both the original version of Coke and Pepsi. But the production was a big fail because market research indicated that the more people preferred the taste of the new Coke to the original Coke and Pepsi. But the product's introduction had many flaws or maraming mali. Market researchers did not factor in the emotional impact of Coke with its specific design has on people. They also did not explain to taste test subject that they would eventually have to choose between drinking the original Coke and new Coke. So eventually, disaster occurred when the company withdrew the original Coke from the shelves to sell only new Coke. Rather than boosting sales, this move proved a huge failure to the company of Coca-Cola. So next is the faulty estimate of production and marketing cost. In all organizations, before starting actual production, estimation is done. Therefore, accurate estimating is necessary to compete in the market and to be sure whether the manufacturer of a particular product will be profitable or not. And if a company or business is unable to predict the estimation of production and marketing costs, it will result to a huge loss to their new product or to their new release product, just like what happened to McDonald's. So McDonald's introduced several failed products throughout its 60-year history, but none were so monumental as the Arc Deluxe. It is introduced in 1996. The Arc Deluxe was marketed as a more gastronomic hamburger with a grown-up taste. One commercial featured a child unable to enjoy the sophisticated burger, stripping its toppings to satisfy his unrefined palate. The Arc Deluxe advertising budget was an estimated $200 million, the most of any fast food product at that time. However, the approach failed and the sales of the Arc Deluxe missed $1 billion expectation set for its first year. The Arc Deluxe was eventually discontinued. So, yun po ang example ng faulty estimation of production and marketing. Cost production and marketing. Cost. Next, 9 on the list is the improper channels of distribution selections. A product must reach the right market at the right time and at the same right price. The faulty distribution policy of the marketer may lead to many problems, such as the good may not be available when required, may lead to higher prices, and so on. So on our last list is the rapid change in the market or economy after the product was introduced. So the rapid change in the market also indicates economic growth, which occurs when there is a rise in the production of goods and services for a certain period as compared with a previous one. So, an example of this new product failure because of rapid change in the market after the product was introduced is the Friendster and Nokia. So, social media site Facebook is one of the biggest corporate success stories in recent memory. Unfortunately, when it comes to social media, for every success story, there is at least one flop. As in the case of Friendster, the site users suffered through slow page loading times and the company's developer failed to scale up when the number of subscribers spiked. Ultimately, competitors such as Facebook provided a much better user experience. Friendster was introduced in 2002 and it discontinued its service in the mid-2015. So, yun yung naging dahilan kung bakit nag-fail yung yung service ni Friendster. So, another example naman is yung Nokia, wherein the company could not stay afloat when Apple entered the industry with iPhone, which revolutionized the smartphone industry for good. So, bakit nga ba nag-fail yung Nokia? So, una-una, they did not switch to Android, and lack of innovation, not upgrading the software, and overestimating the brand value were some of the reasons that lead to the failure of Nokia. So also, the failure of Nokia was primarily result of poor marketing strategies, rapidly changing consumer preferences, and technological advancement. So in the next slide, some of these problems are beyond the control of management, but it is clear that successful new product planning requires large amount of reliable information in diverse areas. Each department assigned functional responsibility for product development automatically becomes an input to the information system needed by the new product decision maker. So, for an example, when a firm is developing a new product, it is wise for both engineers and marketers to consider both the kind of market to be entered, whether it is consumer, organizational, or international, and specific target segments. This decision will be a paramount influence on the design and cost of the finished good, which will of course directly influence price, sales, and profit. So that's all.